Summer is starting early this year because on Saturday, May 10th, the St. John's Bazaar is coming back bigger than ever. If you're not in the know, that's the free all-ages music festival and craft fair that takes place in the heart of St. John's. And this year, there's music across 3 stages, including the incomparable Black Belt Eagle Scout, Seattle hip-hop group Shabazz Palaces, which is fronted by Ishmael Butler from Diggable Planets. And if amazing music isn't your thing, you can also find the perfect Mother's Day gift with a record 200 local artisans selling their handmade wares. It all starts at 10 a.m. this Saturday, May 10th at North Lombard in Philadelphia. I'll for sure be there. You can come find me. Visit stjohnsbazaar.com for more info. That's bizarre.com. Are you ready to vote in the May 20th special election? I know I'm not, so it might not be on your radar yet, but it's important because voters will decide on bonds for Portland Public Schools, which we've talked about on the show, and you're also going to vote for directors on local school boards, fire and water district boards, and the Urban Flood and Water Safety Board. Who's on these boards matter. So go inform yourself with resources from the League of Women Voters at vote411.org and at lwvpdx.org. Your vote is your voice. Make it count. Oh man, we're all coming down from the high of this weekend's 503-day block party, which, by the way, a big thank you to everyone who attended. It was great to see so many faces downtown at Ankeny Alley Plaza, a part of town that many of us don't frequently spend time in. So today on CityCast Portland, we wanted to spend a bit more time in that neighborhood by revisiting our guide to Old Town Chinatown. It was the very first in a series where we talk with Portlanders about the good, bad, and ugly of where they live. And it was no accident that we kicked it all off with what could be our city's most controversial neighborhood. Joining us is Suzette Smith, arts and culture editor of the Portland Mercury. While Suzette is an East Sider today, she lived in Old Town for nearly a decade and has plenty of reasons why we've pegged the district all wrong. It's Monday, May 5th. I'm Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. I've been looking forward to this conversation because I feel like you're repping one of the most, I will say it, controversial neighborhoods.
Yeah, definitely a controversial neighborhood.
Well, before we get into specific locations, do you want to call out the boundaries of Old Town? Like, I feel like a lot of people just see downtown as a monolith, much like the Latino vote, and both are incorrect assumptions, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an authority on the Latino vote. And, in some regards, I'm like, how could I be an authority on Old Town Chinatown?
Oh, wait, and is it Old Town or is it Old Town Chinatown?
Well, I think if we erase Chinatown from the neighborhood, then we're not paying attention to the history. I mean, that's where like the Chinese Botanical Garden is there. Like if you look at the architecture, you can really tell that, there used to be a stronghold of like Asian restaurant and like business here. It's really not as much there anymore. But I do remember one time I wrote about a dancer. She had rented out a theater in Old Town Chinatown to like do a performance piece, but they had like really strong rules in the lease of the theater that she couldn't be topless because the people who owned the building were like, we don't want this to be like another strip club. It was just like a funny thing that where you're running up against like Asian historical organizations still own those buildings, and so they can still kind of control what goes in there.
Well, let's talk about the boundaries.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the boundaries. The boundaries are kind of traditionally like Burnside, although a little bit of Southwest is in there. And then, we have a good section of the waterfront in Old Town, and it goes up to around maybe like Gleason or like the train station, because at some point you start to hit the Pearl. Traditionally, Broadway is the western boundary of Old Town, but I always feel like the stuff that is like the park blocks, PNCA, there's a lot of really good restaurants in the park blocks, like, the new Cart Block Pod, that's really cool. And that all seems to have kind of like the scrappy spirit of Old Town.
Okay, so let's say the train station to Burnside, waterfront, to the other side of the park blocks, maybe a business there or two. So that's the boundary we're talking about for Old Town Chinatown.
Yeah.
Okay. So in preparing for this interview, you sent us a stream of consciousness piece of writing, a treatise of sorts with the title line, In Defense of Old Town Chinatown. Now, I've got to say, Suzette, you might be the most proud Old Town resident I've ever met. Now, give me your biggest Old Town boosters pitch. Like, what do you love about living there?
I mean, one of the best things about living in Old Town is you can get to the rest of the city really easily. We're really close to the bus mall. I think that's like one of my favorite things. The thing that kind of keeps me there is that I can get to so much of Portland from Old Town. But I also think that, there's good restaurants, there's weird bars, there's like super unique everything. Like, I think I wrote to you, even the garbage is interesting. And, we're also right by like this stupidly nice waterfront park where you've got like the cherry blossoms. And like during the pandemic, I would run around that loop that goes like all the way down to the Tillicum Bridge. And it's like a sanity loop. Like it's so beautiful consistently watching whole generations of geese grow up. It's a great, Old Town is a scrappy place. It's scruffy, but there's something so honest about it. Like nobody's faking there.
No one. You're like, there's no pretense in Old Town Chinatown.
The only faking is faking it till you make it, kind of. The people who work in like social services there are just like strong. They're just strong. I just run into people who are wearing like a lanyard and I'll be like, oh, you work for, Gospel Mission or something like that. And yeah, like people are still really passionate about the work they do and they really believe in people. And it's kind of incredible. I don't get tired of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, now tell me the best looking trash that you've seen in Old Town Chinatown.
One time someone had taken like a blanket and shoved it through the handlebars of a business so that it looked like a waterfall. And I thought that was I was just like, sculpture art is happening all around me. Or a toupee in the gutter in fall was really good. Just like a loaf of bread for no reason in the gutter. That was also beautiful. I guess I was having a real gutter moment for a while. The day after Donald Trump was elected, there was just a whole pizza laying in a bike lane. And I was like, a whole pizza? Like, you just gave up. Like, I think they give out a lot of free pizza at Sizzle Pie at the end of the night. And then it just ends up kind of scattered.
Oh, that's a better thought than like someone's like, oh, I can't wait to eat this pizza when I get home. Let me, and somewhere along the bike ride, the pizza just slid out of the box. And that's so sad. And you're just like, oh.
I have totally I've bungee corded a pizza box to the back of my bike, and it is a tale of sadness.
Yeah, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think Old Town has such a bad rap?
Well, it's not unearned. Old Town has a really noticeable homeless population. They're very visible. And right now, of course, there's kind of this thing happening. I feel like there was always open drug use, but people are pretty mad about it right now. Like, I've lived in Old Town since 2016. People have always been complaining about needles in the street. Like, I saw a guy putting a needle in his foot in front of my kid. And that's very upsetting when you are a parent trying to, keep your kid from the horrors of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Old Town is the place where a lot of social services exist in Portland. Blanchet House, I think that's how I always say it wrong.
I love Blanchet House, yeah.
And Gospel Street Mission. There's Central City Concern there. There's Sisters of the Road there. There's just a lot of people trying to help there. And that kind of naturally drew a lot of people there. Also, there used to be kind of more SROs in Old Town. It used to kind of be a place where you could find a room with a hot plate and live for very cheaply.
What's SROs?
A single room occupant.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
One time I was talking to some guy in a cab who picked me up in Old Town, and he was like, oh yeah, I used to live in a room in that building for $200 a month. And I was like, that's Detroit prices. Is that what you're talking about?
we do want to say, I just want to point out Suzette is from Detroit.
Oh yeah.
And so something about that always made sense to me why you chose Old Town for some reason. But aside from it being known as rough around the edges, I also think most people know of Old Town as a neighborhood where there's a bunch of nightclubs. Mm-hmm. Now, what would you say the vibe's like in the daytime? Because I feel like most of us know Old Town Chinatown from the nighttime vibe, but we don't really hang out there in the daytime. What's it like? Give us a slice of life of AM times at Old Town Chinatown.
I mean, yeah, there's nowhere to sit in Old Town. You have to kind of pay to be in somebody's cafe. Except for I did note, Dead Stock Coffee because they're just such down dudes. Like sometimes have a bench out in front. And so I'll go get a coffee and I'll be like, the bench is out. And I'll like sit and have a coffee. And it's a weird feeling to sit in Old Town. But you do often have kind of random people kind of ping-ponging around the streets. And that can be unsettling until you realize they're on their Bluetooth. It's really, I feel like every time I'll be like, that guy, I'll be like, oh no, he's just super mad about something. You know, like, and then, you know, oh, what a nice looking man who's, trying to sell me drugs. Like, it's just, you know, like, it feels like I'm always wrong about people.
This is the daytime vibe of Old Town Chinatown. This is what you're selling us right now.
Oh yeah. I like it, but I don't.
This is what you told me. I asked you, Suzette, what is a daytime vibe of Old Town? You said, you can't sit anywhere. And there's a lot of people that you never know if they're having a mental health breakdown, but mostly they're on their Bluetooth. So I really love this. Yeah. This is a good daytime vibe.
I do feel like that's actually fairly accurate. Like definitely the nightlife is like probably what people come to Old Town for. I like it because it's kind of weird. You know, it gets wild a little bit like on the weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays, you have people hitting Saturday Market. You have people hitting Stumptown or Voodoo Donuts. You know, like there used to be really nice Ankeny Alley where you could hang out and chill. And like, that's just not really the scene anymore.
Well, I mean, the Ankeny Alley is still rolling strong, I think. It's like, it's coming back. It's coming back for sure.
I'd love
I mean,
that.
you would know more. You live there. But I'm just letting you know from like, we get updates of like, these are things or events that are happening.
You mean,
and
like,
I feel like in the summer.
They got a guy in a DJ booth to be super loud there for one afternoon. Cool. I love how...
Yeah, I did mean that. Okay,
Old Town
whatever.
is like, how could I solve this? Oh, with really loud music? Like, that's what... There's just there's like two vibes, and one of them is like, could I get a guy in a booth to play super loud like Jay-Z? And you're like, all right. Like, I'm trying to get a, gyro.
You say gyro. It's interesting.
I do say gyro, but I don't know why I say it the wrong way.
I've heard it as gyro.
It is
I
gyro.
don't know.
That's correct.
Okay, well, let's take a quick break here, and when we come back, some things that even Suzette doesn't really like about her neighborhood. Portland's premier pop culture event is returning to the Oregon Convention Center this September 5th through the 7th. As always, Rose City Comic Con is delivering a fun, family-friendly, 3-day celebration of comics, gaming, sci-fi, cosplay, anime, fantasy, and every fandom in between. Also, this year, you can meet the cast of The Goonies in celebration of the film's 40th anniversary. We're talking Corey Feldman, Martha Plimpton, and Sean Astin, to name a few. And who knows, maybe they'll have more info on the much-talked-about Goonies sequel that's in the works. For me, the cosplay competition is easily the highlight of the entire weekend. Just the time and effort that people put into their costumes is amazing. And if you're into shopping, there's the Artist Alley and Maker's Mart, where indie creators sell their wares. Rose City Comic Con isn't just comics. It's a celebration of all that is popular culture. There's quite literally something for everyone. Tickets are on sale now at rosecitycomiccon.com. That's rosecitycomiccon.com.
CityCast Portland is brought to you by D'Amour Law Group. Let's face it, sometimes bad stuff happens. A serious injury, a catastrophic accident, or even a wrongful death. It can turn your world upside down. When it does, you deserve unwavering support from a dedicated team. Yep, you need a lawyer. D'Amour Law Group has over 30 years of experience protecting the rights of Oregonians. Their team of skilled attorneys, led by distinguished trial attorney Tom D'Amour, will work tirelessly to make sure your voice is heard and your rights are protected. Here's what one of his clients said. Tom fights for his clients from the first day they meet him through the last day of trial. If you or a loved one needs help holding those responsible for your injuries accountable, contact D'Amour Law Group at 503-222-6333 or visit d'amourlaw.com to schedule a free consultation. They are committed to fighting for the justice and compensation you deserve right here in Portland.
So here's a tip. The number one thing that your mom probably wants is a phone call from you. So this Mother's Day, you can give her a phone call, of course, and give her an Aura digital picture frame. So my mom lives across the country, and a big way that we keep in touch is through sharing photographs. I'm constantly sending her photos of activities that I'm doing, like my team at the Lads 500 bike relay the other week. Yeah, she got those photos. Aura Frames was named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter. So you can use one to keep in touch with your mom too, right from your phone. Aura has a great deal going for Mother's Day. For a limited time, CityCast listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's AURA frames.com. Promo code CityCast. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, we talked about a little bit about the positives.
I know, right?
Now, what are a few of your personal Old Town gripes? Because I feel like we've already answered this. I'm hearing noise, people without places to stay, nowhere to sit. Is there anything else?
Wow, I sound like a monster, but at the same time, I also like just want to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like when I'm talking about these things, I'm just aware of what other people don't like. Certainly, there's times where the noise annoys me, but I think I'm actually pretty good at tuning it out. When I first moved into my building, the building manager had a lot of signs up that we could complain about the nightclubs if we wanted for being too loud. But I felt that since I had just moved to the neighborhood, it would be kind of poor form to try to regulate on people who had been here before me. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say.
Have you complained about them now, though?
I have complained.
10 years in?
I have complained about this guy who every once in a while plays electric guitar just like at my building. But actually, like, it hasn't really worked with the noise department. I mostly have, if a club is being really loud on my street, I actually go talk to them, or I find their email address and get in touch with the management that way. Like, I've actually had 2 clubs now where I've like talked it out with them. They've turned it down a little bit and we're all good.
Suzette Smith, good neighbor.
I mean, am I though? I'm still like a complainer, but you know.
Well, you live in Old Town Chinatown. So let me let me tell you this. When I think about Old Town Chinatown, I also think of Dante's. And they're loud. Like when I'm driving down Burnside, I can hear what's happening in Dante's. Can you hear what's happening in Dante's?
Yeah. Down my street, especially in the summer when we have like windows open, I like always have some sort of running commentary of like Dante's live karaoke. I think it's on Mondays. It's like karaoke from hell. And it would always be like, I'll be reading a book and I can just faintly down the street hear like that one guy who sings Creep, you know? But then I remember like last summer, like somebody got really good at singing Violet by Hole.
Oh, that's a hard one too.
It's really hard. Like, I think, you know, it like perks the ears up. You're like,
trickily hard.
Oh,
yeah.
Like, who are you? It's not like I go to karaoke from hell, but I do like hear it. I don't know. Like, I wish I was a person who went to that, but the guy who founded it is the same guy who runs Voodoo Donuts, and I feel like he's made fun of me before, and I never lived it down.
So that's why you're not going. I understand. Well, let's go through a few Old Town highlights. Like, where would you take someone new to the area? They're visiting you. They're staying there. You know, give us some highlights.
So Sushi Ichiban is this little sushi bar that is like on Broadway, and it's been there for a really long time. It used to be Sushi Takahashi, and it has like sushi that is on a conveyor belt, but it's actually a little toy train that runs around a track. And it's just adorable. The people who work there are so down. You just like slide in there, get a few rolls, and then they write up your order and you're out. So it's great to do like before you go to a show. Just great to do before you go to a movie. Like, you don't get stuck like you do sometimes at restaurants. Darcel's, of course. I feel like I don't go there really unless somebody is coming in from out of town. And I wish I was like, Darcel's, it's like, I don't feel like it's like a hangout spot for me. It's like some place that I take people to be like, you should see this. This is awesome.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Kingsland Kitchen, which they do like the English breakfast on the weekends, which is like the full English breakfast. But that's also just like, I mean, that's not like a Portland thing.
I've never heard of Kingsland Kitchen. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, they also have baller avocado toast, you know. I think like it's good to go early if you can.
Oh, cool.
Other than that, like for my nighttime concerns, like not on the weekend, I feel like Thai Peacock, which is like a Thai restaurant that is it's like off Burnside, but it's over closer to Powell's. But they opened a little thing actually called Little Peacock, a little to-go place that is in Pine Street Market, which is, yes, south of Burnside. However, in the little nub that we can still consider Old Town. And they are sometimes like, I put in an order for the crispy trout there and it'll be ready in like 7 minutes. It's wild. I think I might be trying to live in New York, but in Portland.
Yeah. So that's basically where you would take people if they were visiting you.
I might also take them to, there's a karaoke bar called Hallway in Old Town that is like The Shining themed.
What? That's amazing.
And that's another situation where you're singing like right in front of the whole room. It's a very small, narrow bar. It used to be, it was a queer bar for a while. I don't remember what, Rebel was its name. And then before that, it was like a goth bar named Black Book. But it's like kind of always been this like long, narrow bar that is like always going through a different identity because it's just like such a small place.
I want to go to a Shining themed karaoke bar. That sounds amazing.
The bar looks a lot like, it was built to look like the bar in the hotel in The Shining.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Do twins ever go?
I don't know.
Just to mess with people?
I mean, on Halloween,
man.
that would be very scary to see
That would be
twins
sick.
in Hallway.
Okay. Those are places that you would take people visiting out of town. But where do you go? Like, you know, local Old Towners. Is that your preferred name, by the way? Old Towners?
That's fine. I like hang out at Deadstock Coffee. Like I said,
Deadstock?
Deadstock Coffee, very down dudes. They care a lot about sneakers and I don't, but I love that they love it.
I was going to ask, do they still clean sneakers there? Because I know there was a point where you could bring your sneakers and they could repair them or something like that.
Wow,
Did I make that up?
I feel like I go in and get the coffee and they're like, she knows good coffee because she comes here. But then I don't know anything about sneakers. And they're like, you should really learn about sneakers. And I'm like, I know. Could I please have my Americano or whatever? And then also there's like a cafe called Cafe United, which is actually like on the same street on Cooch. And that's like a Black-owned cafe. Actually, Deadstock is also Black-owned. And Cafe United purchased that business from Floyd's Coffee, which was there for a super long time.
I remember that.
They would always have like art shows or readings. And Cafe United is kind of like doing that again. Like I was in there a couple Saturdays ago and they were having like a book release for a local photographer who took a lot of photos during the protests. And they have like this nice brick courtyard. So I guess, you know, like I said, there is a place to sit, you know, like that's maybe why I hang out at cafes, is because it's a nice place to hang out during the day. I still also go to that Stumptown. Clearly, I spend a lot of time drinking coffee. I mean, if you don't want to go to like a fast food place, Stumptown will still get you a breakfast sandwich very quickly in the morning. There will be a little bit of arugula on it. The dang thing is like $8, but it's sometimes you're like, I need a little bit of arugula if this day's going to go right.
Yeah. Well, what about restaurants? Are there any good restaurants that you would recommend? I mean, I heard Thai Peacock or Little Peacock, I mean. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you're like, this is a good place to eat if you're down here?
Well, I guess I talked about Sushi Ichiban. Kingsland is like a breakfast place. Kells, the Kells Brewery in Old Town is actually like, has great food. When you go there...
The Irish bar?
Yeah, when you go there might be a fiddle band playing. Like, that's just something that might happen. So when I'm trying to get my friends to go, I'm like, there could be a fiddle group. And they'll be like, oh, that's going to be loud. And I'm like, bars are loud. This is a fiddle group. It's classy. Another thing, there's a place called Barranco, which is like a Thai place that is like just always so solid. Like they have a pretty limited menu, but they have like these weird hanging chairs that are in the window that you can sit in if you dare. And there's always like, would you like some excellent food? Here you go. Like Old Town is just like quietly good, you know?
Quietly good. I love that. Well, finally, what's the deal with a Society Hotel? I never know if I should be offended by it or just charmed. Why do I feel that way?
Well, Society Hotel is like the Switzerland of Old Town because it's like you have to be buzzed in to use their cafe, which means I never go because I'm like such a flower. Like I can't possibly put up with the minor inconvenience of getting buzzed in. It's one of the few hotels in Portland that has like the bunk bed option for people who are traveling on a low budget. I just recently went to like an art thing there and we went in like through the alleyway and I was like, whoa, I forgot that there's like all these bunk beds here that you can stay in them for like $55 a night, maybe even less if there's a deal going. And that just seems so funny. It's like Harry Potter. You're like climbing a ladder to get into your cute bunk bed that has like a little curtain you can draw. I bet the sound is terrible, but I think you get earplugs. I mean, Jessie Burke, who owns the Society Hotel, is a polarizing figure in local politics. I think she's running for a council seat or mayor or something like that. I'm not up on it. But Society Hotel is like, they've got good snacks. You can like hang out and have a coffee. It's a nice place, but it's just like somehow too much of a hassle to me to get in there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's on purpose.
You know, you can go to the Hoxton. That's an old town. It's on 4th. They don't buzz you in at all.
Wait, is the Hoxton the one with the rooftop? Which one's the one with the rooftop?
They both have rooftop bars, and like the Hoxton's actually has food on it. Like you can take your food to the roof at the Society Hotel, but the Hoxton actually has, they go through different iterations of chefs, but I do believe it is still a taco place up there.
Okay. Well, I mean, you sort of mentioned it, but I do also just want to say that the Lansu Chinese Garden, which is like old school, Chinatown, is still very much there, and it's an oasis in downtown, and I feel like more people should go and check that out if you haven't.
It's very beautiful.
Freaking
there.
Beautiful. It's so beautiful.
That's another thing I need to take people to. I haven't had visitors in a little while. You'll never believe it.
Take them to the Lansu Chinese, especially when they're doing the lighting of the lanterns. Oh, it's so beautiful.
It's like, just like sometimes it's like Old Town. There's trash everywhere, and then there's like 100 beautiful lanterns. It's such a wild zone.
Thank you, Suzette. I appreciate you, going through your neighborhood with me.
Yeah. Thank you for pointing out that all of the things that are bad I actually like, and all of the things that are good I don't like.
Which is why you love living in Old Town Chinatown.
It really is.
That's all for today here on CityCast Portland. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please share it with a friend, rate or leave us a review. It really does help us out. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's.